What's going on, party people? Welcome back to another video. Oh, do we have a nice treat for you today. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Jason Alexander. Super stoked to see you here. Welcome to the Jack family. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and give this video a big fat thumbs up. It really helps to spread the anabolic love. So, Korean foods are amazing. Yes, I am Korean and I might be a little biased, but truth be told, I wasn't a big fan of Korean foods until I got into my late 20s. Believe it or not. But with that being said, across the Korean culture of foods and our crazy fermented ingredients, we have this amazing red chili pepper paste called Gochujang. It's fermented, it's savory, and has a deep flavor profile of being spicy with a tad bit of sweetness. You can easily find this at your local Asian grocery store or even Sprouts, Whole Foods, and if you're in the local Texas area, Kroger. So if you're down for some new flavors and absolutely love your classic chicken wings, you're gonna dig this recipe. Now, you ready? Cause I'm ready. Cupcake, you ready? All right, let's get into this recipe. Now, first up for this recipe, you're gonna need 1 to 1.5 pounds of chicken wings or a mix of chicken wings and drumsticks. Then we've got 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. Next, we've got 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder. Then we've got 1.5 tablespoons of red chili pepper paste. Then we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of sugar-free maple syrup. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Next, we've got half a tablespoon of soy sauce. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And then to cap things off, we're gonna use half a tablespoon of Swerve confectioner sugar. All right, guys, so to kick off this recipe, what we're gonna do is we're gonna first pat down the chicken wings and really get it to the point where it's decently dry on the outside. I've gone ahead and preheated the oven to 275. So we're gonna go ahead and pat down these chicken wings, and then we're gonna go ahead and coat them in our baking powder and our garlic mixture. Now, the baking powder is really gonna help these chicken wings to crisp up in the oven. For this particular case, we're gonna heat up the oven to 275 and then throw them into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes or so, give or take a few. And really, this is just gonna help the chicken wings to dry out a little more. And don't worry about the inside meat, it's gonna stay moist. So let's go ahead and get into it. You can see there's still a lot of moisture in these wings. Let's go ahead and pat these dry. We're almost done, but you can see there's definitely a ton of moisture coming off of these chicken wings. Now, just as a heads up, guys, I love the taste of garlic. So if you're not a big fan of garlic, feel free to leave this portion out and just use the baking powder. Otherwise, the minced garlic in the second half of this recipe is gonna really give you a nice touch. Now that we've got a dry mixture of baking powder and garlic, we're just dumping all of these chicken wings and drumsticks into the bowl, get them all nicely coated, and then toss them into the oven. Now, the chicken wings are gonna sit in the oven for a good 30 minutes or so, depending on how much time you guys have. And guys, I know this is gonna take some time. 30 minutes at 275 and then roughly about 40 minutes at 475. You gotta have a ton of patience. But if you don't have a whole lot of time, just skip the drying part and then just jump into the 475 for roughly about 40 minutes, depending on how crispy you want your chicken wings. But with that being said, with a given time that we've got, 30 minutes or so, we're gonna go ahead and set up our sauce. And this is gonna really just help to let the sauce and all the ingredients sit, marinate for a little bit, really just get nice and friendly and just absolutely taste awesome once we mix it up together. But let's go ahead and dive into it. So when I'm usually making these wings, I'll typically swap out the sugar-free maple syrup with honey, and it really gives the recipe a nice little sweet touch to it. But since we're trying to cut some calories, Sugar-free maple syrup definitely helps kind of round out and give a little bit of a darker sweet texture to the overall flavor profile. But then the Swerve confectioner sugar really comes in handy because the sweetness level is very similar or exactly similar to regular table sugar. And so with that, we're gonna go ahead and do 1 whole tablespoon. And guys, if you're looking to do a Swerve brown sugar, if you guys have not tried that, it's a great substitute for brown sugar, but there's not a whole lot of flavor to it if you've ever tried it. And to be honest, it actually, to me, kind of tastes like nothing. So with that, just try and keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're adding a little bit of sweetness to your recipes or even your desserts. These suckers are straight out of the oven, so we're gonna go ahead and let them sit, but you can hear how crispy these suckers are. These things are looking mighty fine, so we're gonna go ahead and let them sit for a good couple of minutes just to kind of chill out, and then we'll toss them into our sauce. And then it's time to just chow down. And we're back, guys. These things are piping hot as they're straight out of the oven and smelling mighty fine. But in terms of anabolics, let's take a look at the numbers. So in terms of total calorie and macro breakdown, we're looking at a total of 648 total calories with 36 grams of fat, 64 grams of protein, and 17 grams of carbs. Now, obviously those numbers are going to be slightly different depending on what types of wings or drumsticks or thighs that you guys gather. But at the end of the day, this is just gonna be a better option for you. Now, this is not the entire recipe. I've got another batch sitting to the left of me, and you've got 1 pound to 1.5 pounds, and the sauce as a total is gonna do very well for that amount. If you're looking for a larger batch, obviously just double or triple up on the overall recipe. But outside of that, if you take a look at your total, I guess, calorie breakdown for your typical Buffalo Wild Wings 6-piece chicken wing, you're looking at, I think, roughly about 450 total calories, give or take a few. And so within that ballpark range, I'm assuming that you're gonna be definitely a better position consuming these over anything that's gonna be store-bought. Now with that said, let's go ahead and get into a close-up. Coming in hot, guys. So right off the bat, you can probably tell that the sauce to chicken ratio is a little less compared to what you would typically find with your buffalo chicken wings. And the reason for that, red chili pepper paste has a very deep flavor profile. So it's better to use a little less than more. Now, in terms of overall sesame seeds, you don't need to use them, more so cosmetic. And outside of that, I'm ready to dive into a taste test. All right, cheers. Oh my goodness. God, these are good. Freaking delicious. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna have to try these out. The flavor profile on these is nothing like you've had before. I'm telling you, it's like a crossbreed between buffalo, barbecue, and like a habanero. It's so freaking good. The balance between spiciness and then the sweetness is just, but check that out. Total cook time, I think, was roughly about a little over an hour. That chicken meat is looking perfection. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up the Korean chicken wings recipe. Now, if you guys have never tried the good old red chili pepper paste, make sure to give it a shot. I'm gonna challenge you on that one. And if you guys do decide to make this recipe, tag me in your creations. Instagram handle over here. Let's have some fun. And you know what? There are no rules in the kitchen. So at the end of the day, make sure to have fun with your food and enjoy it. But otherwise, if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and give this video a big fat thumbs up. It really helps the channel to grow and also get these types of videos in front of others just like yourself. In the meantime, stay safe, stay swole, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.